This segment is sponsored by NATiVE Solar. Well, folks, it's a hot topic that everyone is talking about: inflation. With recent studies showing a nearly 8% rise in February, it's safe to say we're seeing the impact. From groceries to gas prices and rising home energy costs, there's definitely no hiding it. Now, luckily, our good friend Paul Watson with NATiVE Solar is joining us to discuss how solar can play a role in helping to reduce some of those pain points. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
Doing great.
Besides the topic, I think we've got a lot of great information to get out, so I don't want to scare folks with saying, hey, all the prices are rising, but I do want to talk about it. So first things first, I want you to give us more of an edible summary of inflation and energy costs.
Well, a lot of people don't know that inflation is largely driven by energy costs. 29% of it in 2021 was the increase, and then this year, I mean, we can tell at the pump. We don't even have to wait for the numbers to come out. So what does that really mean? I mean, inflation is being driven by a lot of different things. Printing money drives inflation. The cost of basic goods is driving inflation. Uncertainty with the geopolitics is obviously not helping the situation. So you have all these drivers, but what a lot of people don't realize is you and I might not be as impacted, but especially low-income people, they are already paying 8 to 10% of their whole income on energy costs. Well, now that's just going to keep rising. And the correlation with solar and electricity as we have it today is most electricity still comes from fossil fuels, and those costs are increasing. So even though we're putting a lot of EV in, a lot of that's still coming from coal, natural gas. Yes, we do have hydro in there. So we're really looking at ways to accelerate renewable energy, because dollar for dollar, it's cheaper than coal, it's cheaper than natural gas, and it offers us a good solution for resilience and, like you said, cost savings.
I'm finally starting to hear some good news, because I think the first minute or so of what we're talking about, my eyes are just getting bigger and bigger. But I do want to talk a little bit about how homeowners or even like small business owners can curb some of those energy costs. Do you have some tips for us?
Solar systems are not cheap. It is a longer term investment, especially in places like Texas, when we do have low cost of electricity, thankfully. That is rising. But there are ways that I think many homeowners already know about changing your bulbs. About 6 years ago, I changed my incandescent to LED, and I was saving anywhere from $10 to $15 a month.
Okay.
So definitely look at the light bulbs that you have in. I know it's hard to throw those things away and put another one in there, but just, set them to the side. You can use them somewhere else. Now, another thing that we've seen a lot of is Google Nest, those thermostats that start to learn your behavior. This can be a big cost, and what we call in the solar industry is loads. Loads in your home drive up your electric costs. So your HVAC or air condition, your water heater can contribute 18 to 20% of your electric costs. These are entry points to really reduce your bill without going solar, but you're starting to think, how do I interact with my home? Now we have home energy management systems. And what they do is they retrofit very easily, and then you can start to identify where your costs are going. Some TVs, when they're plugged in, are just sucking energy out of the house. And so these are ways, without a solar system, you can go in there and start reducing your bill anywhere from 5, 10 to, some homeowners might even be up to 20. The other important thing is sealing that envelope.
Okay.
If you've got windows that are breathing and blowing all the air out, if you've got an attic that is very leaky, I call it the Swiss cheese version, you really want to seal that envelope as much as you can. And then on the other side is sealing your envelope, making sure your weather sealing around the windows, around the doors are sealed. They might not seem like a lot, but over a year, you will feel the impact.
To the future, I'm thinking, what we're spending now, what is the investment, what is the cost? So can you just break down what it would cost to actually install an entire solar system and how that would work and what the impact would be now versus the future?
So this is a really important question that not a lot of homeowners understand is, yes, you are locking in your bill. You are saving money. It does take an investment, but what's included in that cost? The largest cost is the equipment. How we price these systems is price per watt. Those prices can range. Now that is where we need to keep a close eye on.
Okay.
Because of all the concerns of supply chain, we have not really felt the impact of some of those cost increases. So that's where our costs will probably start to creep up over the next few years, but it will be marginal with respect to the price of traditional energy, fossil fuels. Then you go into the labor costs, then you have a lot of the soft costs, which can be 5, 10, 20% to really work on marketing, educating the consumer, training them. It's not only about where you live, but it's also about your utility. I'll give you an example. Austin Energy's been very friendly with solar adoption, with giving you friendly rates, with getting you credits. So that is the other cost factor, is which utility you're in. Inside of that is also the permitting. That permitting cost can vary pretty vastly.
Okay.
And so that's another component too.
Get on it while you can, and luckily you have a team at NATiVE Solar who can help folks decipher, what is right for them, the overall cost, and what it will save them going forward. So talk to us just a little bit about NATiVE Solar.
NATiVE's been in the business for 15 years. We've been here a long time, so we want to build things that last. We are a full stack solar company in that we do sales, we do installation, and we do service. So right now is a really good opportunity to begin to understand if you've been considering it. There is a learning curve, so I would say get started now. NATiVE's a great company. Solar Austin has a lot of great resources, as we've seen in the local community, what they've done with Del Valle. We would be willing to help out. Our sales and consultant teams are always there to help answer a lot of questions, and as you can see, I love to talk about the industry.
We know you do, and I love hearing from you. So thank you so much for all the information today, and for giving us a little bit of the bright side. We're not talking all doom and gloom. I appreciate it, Paul.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you, KXAN.
Now go to nativesolar.com to calculate your savings with solar, request a quote, and take your power back with NATiVE Solar. This segment is sponsored by NATiVE Solar.